All right, so again, you'll notice I look the same as I do in my video from day one. And that's just because this is the day that I decided, hey, I'm gonna catch up and do a video update from my notes that I took on day 2 of treatments, because it wasn't until day 3 of treatments that I started just doing a video at the end of each day recapping everything that I did. So Tuesday, May 5th was my second day of treatments at the Biologix Center. I got in, bright and early. I met with Dr. Hentish again. He had found on the previous day that my ears were really plugged, like there was just a lot of earwax like stuck back in there. So he had given me like a hydrogen peroxide flush to do. And I came back in, he was like, okay, yeah, the one ear is great, but the other ear, you need a little more, you need to fix that. So I went back home and I did more of the ear flushing on that evening. And actually that cleared it up, which is great. It was good to have all of that stuff out. And he encouraged me in the future not to use Q-tips, because that can kind of push stuff back into your ear canal. But I ended up finding these cool, they're not like a Q-tip. It's like it had like a curved edge at the very end of the tip, and you can just kind of gently put it in there and like scrape out carefully. It's like a very moldy, not moldy, moldable, like soft plastic, so you're not hurting yourself, but that kind of scrapes out the wax instead of like shoving it back in there. So if you use Q-tips, I would encourage you not to. It's not really great for your ears. But I'm not a professional, I'm not a doctor, so just disclaimer, okay? All right, so I did a bunch of therapies after the doctor's appointment. I had an IV with a Myers cocktail and glutathione, basically a lot of electrolytes and nutrients, right into the bloodstream. I did the ST8 machine with the oxygen therapy. I used the Beamer mat seat, which also comes with like a liver pad that helps cleanse out your liver. And then I did the CES, the cranial electrotherapy stimulator. So day 2 was when I first actually got some sort of like a medicinal therapy, I guess. So he put me on get this cool little vial. Excuse me. Wow, this cool vial, which is basically, I don't know, Con Herbal Strengthen Water, which basically was what he determined that my body needed to help take care of like the cold sores and like all of those viral infections that I had, some of those co-infections. So I started taking that, and then he had me take have some turmeric ginger bone broth. They have some mixtures like in the cafe, and he encouraged me to get one of those, so I did. I ended up going home and just completely passed out for 3 hours. Took a really long nap. I woke up feeling like super emotional, and just like, I don't know, it was like when you wake up from a dream in the middle of the night and you don't know where you're at and you're just like panicking. Like that's kind of how I woke up. I had a bit of like a mild fever, which I believe was my body's reaction to not reaction, but my body using the herbal medicines to like raise my body temperature to kill off the viruses. Had a headache and had a little bit of pain and inflammation, but was just on the right side of my neck, which is interesting because anytime I'd have like a Lyme flare up, it would be always both sides of my neck and the base of my skull and just terrible headache. But this time it was just on the right side, which was very interesting. And that pain lasted all evening, and then by morning I was fine. And I had explained to the doctor that next morning, was like, yeah, this is all the stuff that happened, and the pain was just on the one side, which is weird. That's never happened before. It's usually both sides. And he just kind of explained to me how when you're climbing back up like the spiral staircase to health and wholeness, or climbing up the ladder to optimal health, like you kind of have to go past every symptom you've had that brought you down to that low point of not optimal health, right? So one of those symptoms was my pain, my inflammation, headaches, even sometimes like hot flashes or like a mini fever, then of course cold sores. So he was like, okay, this is actually a good thing. You're climbing back up that ladder and your body's like cycling through to optimal health and wellness. So yeah, so that was my second day at the Biologix Center. And spoiler alert, I kept getting better and better each day. And by the end of my time at the Biologix Center, like my last 2-3 days there were just fantastic, excellent levels of energy, waking up before my alarm, just really feeling amazing, not having any pain or inflammation. Brain fog started to leave. Even in the first week, I was starting to just have more clarity of thought and my cleverness coming back. So very thankful to have been there. And feel free to check out my other videos of all the other days of treatments and some of the other stuff that I did while I was there.